Good morning, everyone. It's Kay Kalthoff, and we are on a Stamp and Chat with Kay on my Stamping to Share Facebook page. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to explore the Well Said bundle with 2 cards that use it, and then a 3rd card that also uses the lovely Lattice Sale-a-bration stamp set. And I think the thing that's really fun is because when you purchase the Well Said bundle, you'll immediately be rewarded with a Sale-a-bration set. This goes through March 31st, and it's great because you can get a free item of your choice with every $50 or $100 increment on your order with Stampin' Up! So I will be sure to put up all the links so you guys have access to how to place these orders along with my current host code. So I'll do that after the video is over, probably within 10-15 minutes, something like that. So we have quite a bit of work to do today. We're going to be working with the Big Shot machine, and I don't really want to spend too much time chatting with you because we've got a lot to do. It's going to be a pretty long video, so you might want to settle in with a cup of coffee. I will tell you, however, one of the things that made me happy this week is, well, actually specifically yesterday, my daughter and I spent the entire day together, well, almost the entire day together with her and her 3 college girlfriends. We went out for lunch and we went shopping, and then we took a road trip down to Mankato for a basketball game, and we had so much fun. And then, of course, we hit a fast food place on our way back, and we giggled and we laughed and we cheered until our voices were just hoarse because we were watching the College of St. Scholastica men's basketball game, and they won! Oh, we are so excited. And so on Saturday, we will be going to the championship game at the University of Northwestern here in the city. So I'm so excited about it. Just makes my day. And it was so much fun to spend time with my daughter, Casey, and then get to see her boyfriend play so well in the game. So anyway, I have to say, it's really a blessing to have this job. My husband couldn't go yesterday because he has to work at another location and can't be very flexible with his schedule. Whereas with my stamping job, I get to be so flexible. And I actually took my craft and carry tote because we spent a little time at Caribou yesterday, and I showed all of Casey's college friends the cards that we're going to be making for Spring Fling, and they thought they were beautiful. So that's a really good I think that's just a great little thing to do when you are just so free to be able to hang out with your kids and do things that I never could have done if I worked at, you know, a real job. As it is, I was able to take my hobby and turn it into a real job that's very flexible. So there's a really good special with Stampin' Up! Right now, and it goes through March 31st. So if you are interested in becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you actually get $50 in additional product to put in your starter kit. It's a Sale-a-bration special, and you also have the option, if you want, to get that beautiful craft and carry tote. So be sure to check out your Sale-a-bration brochure or contact me for more information. So let's go ahead and flip this camera down. Oh, hello everybody. So nice to see so many of you. I will do a giveaway. We're going to give away a half pack to each person who wins the basic rhinestones. And so I will do that on Monday. So if you don't get in on the live Facebook, don't worry, because you still have a chance to be in the Woo Box drawing. All you have to do is comment, let me know your name, where you're from, or you could share this video on your timeline. That helps me out a lot. And then let me know, of course, that you've shared, and you will be entered into that drawing. And then I'm going to give away 2 of the cards that we're making. And actually, I'll probably let you choose which card you want me to send to you. So we'll base it on 1, 2, 3, and we'll get started right now. So let me flip this camera down. Okay, so let me show you a card I got in the mail. I love to do this as I begin my videos. And this is from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She's not actually in my group, but she's become a friend. And do you know how we met? On these Facebook Lives. And so she sent me a card, and it's just beautiful. It uses the botanical butterfly paper, which coordinates with the butterfly duet punch. And then she used the, I believe it's called the Butterfly Gala stamp set. And she's got the layered leaves here in the background. She embossed that. We're actually using that today on one of my cards. And so it's just a lovely, lovely card. So thank you so much, Lori Healy. You are a dear, dear, sweet person, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to know each other through these Facebook Lives. So thank you for that. All right, and now let's look at the cards we're going to make today. So the first one is this one, and it uses the Garden Impressions paper. And look at that, I even did the envelope, so I'll show you how I did that. This takes hardly any time to make, but one of the features that I really love about this card is I use the Starburst Punch, just half of it, to really accentuate this really cute 1.5 inch punch out with the sentiment. And I just thought that just added so much to this card, because otherwise I think with this busy paper it could get a little bit lost. And so this punch out really helps keep that in focus on this card. All right, and then the next card we're going to make is we're going to make this beautiful card. There's so much going on with it. There is the layered leaves background, and then we have a couple of, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3 different die cuts that we're going to be using from the well-written framelits that come with the Well Said bundle. I want to get this all right. And then, of course, it's just pretty. It's sort of like a fall card, but you know what? I am so done with winter, so we're making kind of a summer card and a fall card, and then I'm going to make a spring card for you. Of course, you could send these cards any time of year. But this is kind of the spring-oriented card, because once you have that Well Said bundle, you'll want to get yourself a celebration item. So this is the lovely Lattice celebration stamp set, and we're going to make this. And it is so gorgeous. I cannot wait to show you how to do this, because you do this with the Stamparatus, and it looks so incredibly gorgeous. I just cannot wait to share this with you. So we will do that last, but it's so much fun. You're actually going to want to make like 5 or 6 at a time. I really promise you, you will get addicted to doing this. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with what I consider to be the very easiest card first. But you know what? I should show you what this all looks like. So here is the Well Said bundle. And of course, some of the framelits are missing, but this is all the framelits. Kind of looks like this. I went ahead and just cut them all out so you could kind of see what it looks like. It's quite a nice grouping. And I will say that it's very hard almost to put these on with just glue. So when you purchase this bundle, you may want to consider getting the multi-purpose adhesive sheets from Stampin' Up, and that's how I use this. That way when I cut it out, the adhesive is already on it, and you can just stick it on your project, kind of like a sticker. It works really well. So we'll get this out of the way, and this has got a huge stamp set. I mean, you can kind of, you know, create with this for a long, long time. It's going to be very beneficial to have in your collection. All right, and then the next thing, of course, that we'll be using will be this Garden Impressions 6x6 Designer Series paper, which is in our annual catalog. Some of the paper is a little bit busy, but as I shared, you can remedy that by the way you use your punch outs. And then this is what it looks like as you go through it. And this paper right here, although it looks quite busy from the front, if you flip it over to the back, you have this amazing wash of I believe it's powder pink and so saffron, and I think it's soft sea foam in there, and it's just beautiful. And you can stamp directly on your Designer Series paper. Don't be afraid to experiment with that. And that is actually how we created this beautiful card, and that's by stamping directly on designer series paper. And then of course, you know, you can go through and see that there's a lot going on with this paper. Here's another one that is really nice for stamping directly on. I think I stamped a rooster on that a couple of Facebook Lives back. And so some really gorgeous papers in here. It just seems like it goes and goes. It's 12 different papers in this pack, and it's a 6x6 pack. All right, so let me show you in the catalog. We're working with our occasions catalog, and you'll find all the information about the Well Said bundle along with some really cute samples on page 27. So wanted to point that out. And now let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to start with our Whisper White note cards and envelopes. So this is kind of a simple stamping setup here. When you get the Whisper White note cards and envelopes, just like it says, you get a note card to work with and an envelope to mail it in. Now I have had people ask me, is this big enough to go through the U.S. postal system? And it is. It meets the minimum size, but you would not want to go smaller than this. These are 3.5 by 5 inches, and that is the smallest that the postal system takes. So we are going to be using that today. And then we're going to take one of those 6x6 papers and we're going to make a couple of cuts on it. And let me grab my bone folder here. I'm going to just get this to lie flat for us. And let's just see. Now, some of you, you know, you may notice that when you go ahead and use your bone folder, there may be one edge of your card that sort of sticks out over the other. I consider that just that little bit bigger of a card panel to be the front of the card. So this sticks out just a tad more. So this is what I consider the front of the card. So we're going to go ahead and do the inside panel first, which is super, super easy, I think, unless I've already lost it. Nope, here it is. It's a 1/2 inch by 3 1/4 inch panel that we're just going to put on the inside. And I'm just going to use a multi-purpose liquid glue here, and we'll just set this in here. Now, a lot of times I don't use glue with our regular Whisper White, but this is a thick Whisper White, so there won't be any glue lines that show through. Kind of get that set again. And then we're going to just go ahead and put straight onto this panel. We just cut it down about 1/4 of an inch. So this is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and that's what we're going to put on the outside panel. So this is card 1. So when we do the drawing and you send me your address, if you're one of the winners, you'll let me know whether you want card 1, card 2, or card 3, and I'll send it out to you along with our 1/2 pack of basic rhinestones. So be sure you're sharing or commenting on this video as we go along. So here we go. We have the base of our card ready. We might as well do the envelope as long as we're at it. So again, I just have a little piece of a scrap here. And again, that's the Garden Impressions paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little multi-purpose liquid glue, and we are just going to line our envelope like this with all the glue. So you want to get it about as close to the edge as you can, but you don't want to use too much glue. And then you just set this on here. Now I like to bring it down because I want to make sure that I get it exactly even with the edge. So I can just set this right like this and then just wiggle it into place. That's one of the really nice things that using glue allows you to do, is it allows you to just kind of wiggle it into place. So there is going to be your decorated envelope. So then it's just no trick at all. You're gonna flip it over like this and then just take your scissors and you're just going to trim along your envelope just like this. And this will decorate the top of your envelope. And the glue holds really well. You don't have to worry about that falling apart when you mail it out. So we'll just bring this around, and there we go. So we have our beautifully decorated envelope in the back. Isn't that cool? All right, so now let's go ahead and finish this. Now, if you look at the colors in this cardstock pack, it does not say that Blueberry Bliss is one of the colors. However, if you look at some of the colors, because there's a watercolor wash, some of the Night of Navy, once it's washed out a little bit, it does look like Blueberry Bliss. So I have a scrap here of Blueberry Bliss, and we are going to take the, oh dear, is it the Sunburst Punch or is it the Starburst Punch? That is the question of the morning. Boy, do we have anybody that knows? If you know, please go ahead and let me know in your comments, and I will let everybody know what this is, because I can't remember. It's either a Starburst or a Sunburst. But if you look on the back, it sort of has like a pizza on the back. Have you ever noticed that about, oh, Deb, thank you, Deb. Deb just told me it's the Starburst Punch. So this is called the Starburst Punch. I should really just write it in marker on the side, then I would know. Or I could just make sure that Deb watches every single Facebook Live I ever do, because she helps me so much. All right, so this is, it sort of looks like a pizza in here. So that's helpful, because what you want to do to cut this exactly in half is you're just going to bring your paper in halfway, like you're cutting a pizza in half. There we go. So that's all there is to it. And you just use a little scrap of Blueberry Bliss, and there it is. Then the next thing that you're going to do is take a little scrap of Whisper White. And again, because I punched out Blueberry Bliss, now I want to take, let me grab it here, my Blueberry Bliss ink pad, which I'm going to open up. And then I'm going to take the sentiment, which comes from Well Said. We'll ink that up. And we're going to stamp that right here. It says, thoughtful, kind, generous, that's you. And you know what? This goes so quick, you guys, that this is another card where you could just make up, you know, make up 10 or 20 of these. And then you can go ahead and just mail these out whenever someone has been thoughtful, kind, or generous. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Now we're going to take the 1.5 inch circle punch. Isn't that nice? It's labeled for me, so I don't have to remember a name. And we are going to just punch that out. Yay, so simple. Then we're going to flip that over, and this is where the bottom is. I'm going to keep my finger there so I remember, because you don't want to put adhesive over everything, because it is only going to be the bottom that is sticking to this. And so I'm just going to add a couple of strips here at the bottom. And then we're going to set this onto our little half punch out of the Blueberry. You know what? I keep calling it Blueberry Bliss. It's not Blueberry Bliss, is it? It's a Blueberry Bushel. It's one of our in colors right now. So let's see here. I think that looks good. So I'm going to flip it over and burnish it down with my finger. And yeah, this is not Blueberry Bliss. It's Blueberry Bushel for everybody that's confused. Obviously, I'm talking to myself here. Okay, so now we're going to take dimensionals, and we are just going to pop 3 of them on here. And we'll pull these away. And there we go. So now you can just set this in, maybe about a 1/2 inch from the bottom, a 1/4 inch from the right. Try to make sure that punch out is, you know, parallel, and that looks good. So there it is, a beautifully finished card for you with a darling matching envelope. So that is the first project. That is the first card. And of course you could add, you know, some rhinestones or things like that if you wanted to, but I wanted to keep it really simple. So that's card 1. Now let's do card 2 for the day. And again, this one, I think of this as a little bit more of a fall card, but I tell you what, it could be just an anytime card. You make me smile. We're going to leave the inside completely blank. It even has a little bit of a masculine feel, I think. So let's go ahead and get our supplies out for this one. And I do have it all in a little packet here. And I've got all of my little die cuts that we're going to be using with the Big Shot machine. And this little guy is from our Stitched Shape Framelits. And I can just reach around behind me and grab those out. That looks like this. If I can get the hair out of here. There we go. So this is the Stitch Shape Framelits. We have it in ovals, squares, and circles. And when you purchase the Stitch Shape Framelits, you get ovals, squares, and circles. So it's kind of nice. The nice thing about it, let me hold this card up, is it instantly puts stitching on your card. No sewing machine needed. So I love that. Love that about this set. So let's go ahead now and grab the Big Shot machine. Nope, let's not grab the Big Shot machine. Let's do our one little bit of stamping first, and then we'll grab the Big Shot machine. So I just have a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in the ink here, and I'm going to use Night of Navy this time. Night of Navy is actually one of the colors promoted in this set. We are going to stamp, or promoted in the Garden Impressions paper. So we're going to take the Make Me Smile. We'll just stamp that right there. So beautiful. And get that back out of the way. And then we're going to grab the Big Shot machine. Let me get all of this out of the way here. All right. And you know what? I just feel like I need to give this a second to dry because I don't want to work with something too fast and then risk smearing it. I mean, it usually only takes like 30 seconds, but I just realized that we also have to do some embossing. So let's run our embossing folder first. So this one is called the Layered Leaves Embossing Folder. And when you get your Big Shot machine, and I know a lot of you are ordering Big Shots during celebration so that you can get that extra little perk of a celebration stamp set or a celebration item, because the Big Shot's $110. So there you go. You could get your Tea Time Framelits with that, or that new painted bundle. But when you get your Big Shot machine, one thing you'll notice is that all of your platforms like this, you get a platform for embossing, and then it tells you kind of how to set it up. But with this is such a thick, thick folder. We're going to take away the thin die adapter, and we are going to take away one of these plates because we don't need them, because this folder is so thick. Then, and I want to show you what we're doing a little different with this card. I did the sample with Tranquil Tide, but you know what I'm going to do for this one, the one that I'm doing with you guys? We're going to use Shaded Spruce. I think that might just have just a teeny bit more pop, and it's going to look cooler. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to put this right here into our Layered Leaves embossing folder. And we're going to set this on the Big Shot platform, and we're just going to roll that through. And like nobody's business, these leaves are embossed like 3D. There's some that are higher, some that are lower, and it's just so gorgeous. All right, so then what we're going to do is work with the rest of these little pieces. So now I'm going to get my magnetic platform out. This is a little extra thing that you can purchase to go with your Big Shot machine, and I use mine almost daily because I'm always putting a whole bunch of dies on, and I want them to stay in place, and the magnetic platform will help you do that. So here is my cut plate. You can see it's been cut on a lot. Then I have a scrap of crushed curry, and what I've done is I've prepped this in advance by putting that multi-purpose adhesive sheet on it. So now I can just take this, I guess that's okay. Whoops, I gotta put it this way. I'm gonna put this right here, and I'm gonna put it at the edge of the Big Shot machine. Did you know there's more pressure on the edges of the Big Shot machine than there is just down through the center? So because there's so many little intricate details in here, I am going to run this through on the edge, okay? Then I've got a little scrap of Poppy Parade, and I don't have anything on the back of this. It's just a scrap of Poppy Parade. So we're gonna run the little birdie through. We're gonna make a little cardinal. And then I have the U that we're going to put with our sentiment on the card, and I'm going to put that through with a scrap of Night of Navy that has also been prepared in advance with the multi-purpose multi-purpose adhesive sheets. I'm just going to cut this down so I can run this all through the Big Shot at one time. And so that way I can put this down here. I'm going to grab my U. We'll set this in right here. All right, it's ready to roll. So now we just take a top plate that I typically don't cut on, and we're going to run it through the Big Shot machine. So just roll it through. And because we're cutting something that has so many intricate pieces, I'm going to roll it back. Now this may not be necessary, but because I'm doing a live video, I want to make sure it works. So that's the point. So we're going to set the Big Shot machine aside, and we're going to see how we did. So another accessory that you can purchase with your Big Shot machine is the Big Shot die brush, which I love having. So I took a paper pumpkin box, turned it inside out, and then of course I put on one of my Stampin' storage magnetic sheets up here. That way when I'm done taking the die away, I can just throw that up here so I don't accidentally lose it. And I'm going to take away the little piece for my cutout. I'm going to finish taking these little pieces out. The die helped release it, but it didn't take out these little teeny tiny pieces here. Oh, I guess that's going to come out when I peel it away. All right, and then the next thing is my little cardinal. So he's already out. And then my next thing is this piece here. So again, just going to run this over the top. Just helps release all of these pieces. I'm going to put these up here so I don't lose them. Okay, and here it is. And it looks like it came out oh, look at this. It just works so nice. So sometimes I think it's worth going over again. There we go. So I think when I pull this backing away, the multi-purpose adhesive, it's going to all kind of come apart and it'll work perfect. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. And I think we are ready to start assembling our card. So let's do the inside panel first. That's Whisper White, 4 by 5 1/4, simple. And then you flip it over and you're just going to put a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip of coordinating Garden Impressions paper at the bottom. So that is also very simple. And then we're just going to take a little bit of snail across the top. And then we're going to put it inside of our card. So our card base is going to be Night of Navy. It's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then let me grab my bone folder here. I just can't stand having my cards pop up when I'm working with them. So I don't know how people get along without a bone folder. It's so important to me that when I get a brand new demonstrator that's joined my group, I actually send them a bone folder when I introduce them to the group that says Stamping to Share on it, because it's that important to me to have a bone folder. All right, so then we open this up. And we are going to set this inside. Just make sure all 4 borders are nice and even. Give it a good press. And then, because we don't have any ribbon wrap that's going on, we can take this beautiful shaded spruce piece that has this gorgeous layered leaves on, and we can just put that straight onto the front of our card. Well, let me try a different glue. Yeah, we'll just put that straight on the front of our card with the glue that actually works. Hooray! Okay, so we'll set this in. So beautiful. And again, you just want to make sure all 4 borders are even, and it's kind of cool with the glue because you can wiggle it into place. Now you're going to go back to that beautiful Garden Impressions paper, and you're going to make 2 cutouts. Both of them are going to be 2 by 3 inches. And you are just going to glue these kind of kitty wampus onto your card. So we're just going to take a chance and hope it looks good. So I'm going to add a little multi-purpose liquid glue to the back. And we're going to set this in kind of at an angle so that it's about, a 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the card over here. Maybe we'll go up a little higher, and probably a 1/2 inch from up here. All right, so there's the first one. And then we're going to take the second one and do the same thing, put some glue on the back of it, and we're going to go a little kitty wampus and put this down right like this. So that looks good. Yay, perfect. oh my gosh, I forgot to run my sentiment through the Big Shot machine. So remember when we stamped that? I need to quickly do that. So let me grab it back into the picture real quick. Sorry about that. I could have probably run that through when I ran through everything else. So I grabbed my magnetic platform, my cut plate. Here it is. I'm going to take the stitch shape oval framelit, and I'm going to set it in there so that we have enough room for us to put the U at the top. Remember that little U cutout that we did? So we want to make sure there's enough room for the U to be in there. So you can hold that up just to make sure it's right where you want it to be. So I've got the sentiment maybe a little off kilter. Maybe the smile part is a little closer than the make part. Then we're going to just run it through the Big Shot machine. That's kind of nice, you know, when you can just see right where you need to cut. So no mistakes there when you do it that way. So now we'll take this out. And we have our little sentiment. So again, let me get this out of the picture here. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's finish putting this together. Okay, so we've got the U, and I'm just going to pull off the multi-purpose adhesive backing, which makes this sort of just like a sticker. We're going to set it right here. Oh, how perfect. You make me happy. And then we've got room over here to put our little bluebird, or not the bluebird. Oh, you could make a bluebird, but we did a cardinal. So I'm going to take this little birdie here, and we are going to take our pick tool, and then we are going to take one of these extraordinarily small mini dimensionals that are so useful. You see me using them all the time. No longer do we have to cut our dimensionals in half. This is one of those products that Stampin' Up! Carries that just makes me happy. I love it. Okay, then we're going to set this right here. Oh, I have a question and I want to answer it for you. I get this question every once in a while, and for those of you that will watch this later on YouTube, this is a very important question. I often have people say, why do you only tape the top of your inside panel? Well, I think it's more elegant. If you have ever gotten a wedding card in the mail, or if you've ever gotten a beautiful invitation to like a 50th wedding anniversary, there's so many lovely layers, and there's flowingness and elegance, and you will notice that things are light and loose and airy, and that's why I do it, because I want things to stay elegant, light, loose, airy. And when you have everything taped down, it's just so tight, and I can't stand that. So that's why I just do the top. And you know, for those of you that like to be a little more conservative, it certainly saves on adhesive as well, because you're only using 1/4 of the amount of adhesive that you would use. All right, so thank you, Karen, for asking that question. So now what I'm going to do is take the little backing off of that little tiny dimensional, the little mini dimensional, and we're going to put this little birdie up here, the little cardinal, and set him right there. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is so cute. All right, then we're going to take let me grab my little wastebasket. Okay, now you're going to see something that you normally never get to see, because when I'm on video, I don't always show all these weird things on my desk. All right, here it is, my wastebasket. This is where I put all my little, you know, peelies in. But I also use a lot of little clippies in my business, and so I ordered the pack of in-color binder clips, and I keep them on my brie cheese container. And then whenever I need a binder clip, I can grab it. Boom, I've got it. This is so weird. I can't believe I'm sharing this. But anyway, that's me. So now I'm going to pull away. Oh, look at that. How beautiful that is. So we're going to pull away to expose the sticker part. And there we go. Okay, here it is. So cute. Let me grab this little thing here. There we go. All right. So I had to bring that in because otherwise I was going to make a mess all over my desk. And now what you want to do is you want to put this going straight up and down, just over here, kind of to the right, about like so. Beautiful, isn't it, guys? And now we're going to take this little sentiment, you make me smile, and you guys do. And we're going to flip that over. We're going to add some dimensionals. So we're just going to add, I don't know, let's go crazy and do 4. I think you probably could get away with just 2. But you know what? Since I saved so much adhesive by only using 1 strip on my inside panel, I can go crazy with dimensionals, right? Okay, so we're going to put this in right about right here, which looks darling. But of course, it's not done because the finishing crowning touch will be some Baker's Twine in Night of Navy. So I'm just going to take some, I'm going to make a double bow. So I don't know how much I'm taking here. Probably about 20 inches, and then you just fold it in half, cut it in half. Let me get my good scissors. I do have a little ribbon scissors that I use for stuff like this. And now you're just going to make a bow. So we're just going to make a quick little bow here and then trim that up so it's all cute. We'll put that on with a glue dot. So we'll just, oh my goodness, I hope you guys can't hear that. My stomach is growling. I must be getting hungry. This is hard work doing all this stamping this morning. All right, so there it is. Very cute. Then we'll just trim these edges off. We'll grab a glue dot. And let me grab my, take your pick tool. We'll put the glue dot, I don't know, maybe we should put the glue dot on this. All right, then we're gonna take this, flip it over, and add it right here. Oh my gosh, is that not just the cutest, you guys? All right, so I have a question. You have to answer and tell me what you like. Do you like the shaded spruce better, or do you like the tranquil tide better? So the shaded spruce or the tranquil tide? I mean, it's super, super like similar, but I just think the shaded spruce maybe has a tad more pop. Let me hold it up closer to the camera, and then you guys can comment and let me know which one you think you like the best. Shaded spruce or tranquil tide? I think the tranquil tide maybe looks a tad more masculine, and the shaded spruce just looks more like something Kay would do. I don't know, it's just goofy, but I like them both. Okay, so we're getting shaded spruce as the big winner. Oh, Sue just said she likes tranquil tide. You know, I kind of like, if I was giving this card to my husband, I think I would give him the tranquil tide one. But if I was giving it to a girlfriend, I think I'd do the shaded spruce. So there we go. All right, so we're gonna set these aside because now we have the most fun card of all coming up, okay? So the most fun card of all today is this one, and I'm going to be doing it on the Stamparatus. And we are going to use, because once you get that beautiful, beautiful, well said bundle, you need to spend your celebration token on something. So I am going to show you how to use lovely Lattice so you don't have to color it, but yet it's going to look colored. So this is going to be really cool. All right, so let's grab the Stamparatus. Oh no, where is it? Oh dear. Oh, you know what? We are also using, I forgot about this, we're going to use our rectangular framelits too. So let me show you, let me get all the supplies out here. Hold on. See, things pile up on my desk, and I don't have the hugest desk that I'm working on, so I kind of have to do some things in stages here, especially when I'm doing 3 cards. It gets a little crazy. Alrighty. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do first. We're going to do big shot work first because the big shot's coming back into the picture here for a moment. And we have a scrap of Sahara sand because one of the colors that I think, I mean, it could be the, what's this other color, soft sea foam, but it also kind of looks like Sahara sand. So I decided to go with Sahara sand, although I think the soft sea foam would look pretty now that I'm looking at it. But anyway, we're going with Sale-a-bration because that's how I made the card initially. So we just have a scrap piece here. And we're going to set this up on the Big Shot. And I'm using the small framelit that fits right here. This is the small rectangular framelit. All right. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. And so we're just going to set this in. Whoops. Get it the right direction. All right. You know what? I'm going to cut this down a little bit because otherwise I'm not going to have room. So I'm going to cut this in half. It's just a piece of scrap. Okay, there we go. So now we have room to put our friend. You know what? I'm going to cut that down too. So what I did is I took a piece of powder pink scrap, and again, because this is the well-written framelits, they're pretty skinny, so we want to make this into kind of a sticker. So I added the multi-purpose adhesive sheets to the back, and then we're going to run this through the Big Shot. And we're going to grab the friend, which is right here. I think I can do it this way. There we go. So if you're careful, you can get quite a few, you know, like once I have multi-purpose adhesive sheets on the back, I like to kind of make sure I'm doing it so I'm not wasting a lot of things, because then I can use this section over here for probably another friend cutout. Now we're going to take the non-cut plate, the plate I do not use for cutting, I just put it over the top, and we'll get the Big Shot machine. And we're going to roll this through. And then we'll be done with the Big Shot and I can really get it out of the way. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Okay, so we're back to business here. There's our little Sale-a-bration cutout. And here is our friend cutout. Now you have to be careful because if you want to save this little eye dot, and it's still in the framelit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this over here in my little inside out paper pumpkin box because I'm going to grab this later on in the video to use that little dot. All right, and then we're just going to set this aside. Well, actually we can, you know what, we could do this right now and just have it out of the way. So here's my little piece that I'm going to set the friend onto, and get my little holder here for these little tiny things, and then I'm going to pull off the adhesive. There we go. And now we're going to set this, it fits perfectly onto this little rectangle. So we're going to set that in just like so. Almost perfect. There we go. Try to make sure that your friend is going to be, you know, kind of going parallel with the bottom. There, that looks good. Now we want our eye, so I'm going to grab that piece again. I'm sure this is where I'm losing all of you because this is very boring, but it's just a necessary part of crafting. It can't be fun and games all the time. Sometimes there's actually real work involved. So this is where the work comes in, because you got to take this little microscopic eye, and then I'm just taking a paper piercer. And of course, everything is 3 times harder when you don't have real nails. You have the fake ones. Okay, so I got that itty bitty tiny adhesive over the top off. Now I can just put this eye on, and I'm using a paper piercing tool. You could also use your take your pick tool. But there we go. We've got the eye on. The little dot on the eye is done. So we can set this aside, and now we can go ahead and get going with the card that we're making here. So let me look at my original. Let's do the inside portion first. So here we have our inside portion. Isn't that beautiful? So on the front it says friend. When you open it up, it says my life is better because you're in it. It's gorgeous. And our base card is powder pink, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'll use my bone folder here. All right. And then we need this little panel here on the top. So that is that paper that I was showing you from Garden Impressions. It's 2 inches by 4 inches. And we're just going to add a little multi-purpose liquid glue to the back. And we're going to set this right here at the top, making sure that the top and the 2 sides are even. Just kind of wiggle that into place so it looks nice. Then we're going to take a little panel of Whisper White right here. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And we are going to stamp on there. And because we are stamping on this part of the card, we're going to be stamping directly on designer series paper. I want to use a black that's going to really pop. So out comes the StazOn, because that is a serious looking black. It is the kind of black you would not want to use on a photopolymer stamp because it would stain it forever. But this is great if you ever want to stamp on vellum, or if you ever want to stamp on glossy paper, or if you're stamping on designer series paper and you want that black to really pop through. This is your answer, called StazOn Black. So here's our sentiment. We'll ink that up. And the other thing with StazOn Black is you always want to make sure your cover is on. Can't let that one sitting around like you do with these all the time. You actually have to cover it up or it will dry out. In fact, I've probably sat here and talked too long. You want to ink it up and then stamp it before it has a chance to dry, because it is a permanent stamp. So my life is better because you're in it, that's for sure. So thank you everybody for being a part of my Facebook Live today. I really appreciate it. Now we're going to take this and using some snail. And again, because I'm trying to keep it nice and light and flowing and elegant, I just put it along the top. We're going to set it in here so that everything kind of looks nice and even. Give it a press, and the inside panel is done. Now, the rest of the outside panel. This is where we get to use our Stamparatus. So I've got it right here, and I have it partially set up. So I have, so what this is I just have one plate on it because I'm just using one stamp today, and I have it set up for red rubber stamps, which is basically just the basic Stamparatus. I have a grid paper in here, you know, just because. And then I am going to take a full, and I have one of my magnets out. You don't ever want to get 2 magnets out at the same time, you'll break them. So I use one magnet at a time, and I have my backup magnet in the back, and he's always behaving because I never take him out ever, unless I would somehow lose this magnet. The magnet on the back is my backup magnet. If you take them out both at the same time, you're going to be sorry. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so you are going to take a piece of Whisper White, 4 by 5 1/4 inches. You're going to set this as far as it'll go up here in the corner, and then secure it with your magnet. Then you're going to take your StazOn Black. Normally, I would have this the other way, but because I have a big thing here holding my camera up, I can't do it the way I would normally do it, but it works this way too. So I'm going to ink up with StazOn ink this gorgeous Lattice stamp, and we're going to press this on to that Whisper White panel. Lift it up. And it's quite gorgeous, but you know what? I'm going to do it one more time because it looks a little faded towards the top. So let me just add a little more ink to the top of that. One of the beauties of the Stamparatus, for sure. There. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to take this away. I'm going to get my Stamparatus out of the way for a second. And we are going to take a 2-inch strip of that paper. That's so beautiful. So I am going to kind of hold it up here and see where I would want it to go to accentuate the flowers. And it looks like if I just set it in like this, it'll be just perfect. So let me glue that down, okay? So I am going to take, actually I think I'll use snail. So I'm going to take some snail here, And I'm going to put some snail on the back, and I'm going to set this through the center. So I'm going to set it up here so that if I go like this, because this is a 2-inch wide strip, if I set this in, and I'm using my little mat here, you know what, I'm going to go a little bit above, and I can always trim it even. That always works really well. So that looks beautiful. I'm going to turn it over and burnish it from the back. Then I'm going to take my paper snips from Stampin' Up, and we're just going to trim this even. You guys, this is the funnest card I've done in a long time. I think it is just cool. Whoops. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, then we're going to get the Stamparatus back into the photo. We're going to set this right, actually what you want to do next, you want to grab a couple of Post-it notes. So I'm going to use the same one I did before when I was first setting this up. You want to put your Post-it notes like right here and right here, because you don't want those being, you know, re-inked up, because it would, you know, if it's off by just a hair or something, I would not want that to show up extra dark on the edges. So that's why I'm doing that. All right, now we're going to ink this all up again. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And then we are going to bring this down, give this a good press. And because we're using Stays on Black, it should pop really nicely on this Designer Series paper. Oh, and it's beautiful, except I'm going to redo it just up here in the lattice area one more time. I want that lattice to really pop. I should have probably re-inked my Stays On before I went live, but I did not. So that's probably my issue. There, how gorgeous is that? So let me, you can see really how gorgeous this is once I take these Post-it notes off. So hold on, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to take the Post-its off. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. How beautiful and how easy. And now you've just colored all of your pretty flowers, and it's just so gorgeous. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this onto the front of our card panel. So I'm going to add some snail, and then we're going to set this in on top of our powder pink panel. So it will look like this. I'm going to burnish it from the back so I don't accidentally smear anything or get ink on my fingers, but there it is. Now we're going to add something that'll make it look really special. Uh-oh, I think it'll make it look really special. Did I leave it? Hold on. I must have it here somewhere. Okay, maybe not. Hold on, guys, I'll be right back. I don't have the measurements for this. I forgot to put this in my little packet. It's a piece of cardstock vellum. So let me figure out what it is. It's 1.5 by 2 3/4. Let me write that down for you, because I know some of you watch videos without the sound. So it's 1.5 by 2 3/4. So that is my vellum panel that is going to go on this card. See? All right, so we got that taken care of. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the vellum panel down first. So I'm just going to add a little bit of snail to the back here. And we're going to set this in right about here. So you've got a little bit of, so you've got just a little bit of the white border there. You're kind of a little bit above these leaves, and just press that in. And then you're going to take your friend panel, and you're going to put that on with dimensionals. So we'll just grab a couple of dimensionals here. maybe 3. So we'll take the peelies off. And then we're going to set that right over the top of the vellum because that adds so much class and elegance. You can kind of see it through the back of the vellum. It's so pretty. Okay, so there we go. Now, to make this card even more gorgeous, we are going to take some basic rhinestones, and this is going to be my giveaway for when you comment or share this video between now and Monday when I do the drawing. I don't like to say really Monday morning, or I don't really know for sure when I do the drawing because every day is a different day and I never know how things are going, but it'll be sometime on Monday. I'll tag you in the post if you're a winner and you'll find out. So we're going to take one of the bigger ones and we're going to put it up here. And then there's a medium size one, and we're going to put that one, I think, right here. And then we're going to grab a little small one and we'll put that right here. Okay, and then we're going to put a couple down here. So we're going to put 2 small ones down in this section. So we're using 5 rhinestones. So 1 here and then 1 more right here. And it's so beautiful. Can you see how pretty that is? All right, so we did it, you guys. We got through this entire Facebook Live. We did all these cards today, and they're just so gorgeous using the well-written bundle. Here's the first card, here's the second. And we did this gorgeous little one over here with the shaded spruce and the tranquil tide. And then we did this cute little note card one that was kind of simple stamping. Really easy to do with a coordinating envelope. So we're going to set this in here so that you can see them all at the same time. So, actually I can't quite get that just right. I know, I'll put it like this. Perfect. Okay, so these are the cards we did today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me in this Facebook Live rebroadcast. I really appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you sometime next week. We'll do some more cards, some more Facebook Lives, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.